For In Motion, I'm Kurt Parker.
We looked at the test results and they came back positive for cancer.
For many, no other words can have such a profound impact as these. These words can begin an arduous journey that few cancer patients will ever forget.
There was a message on the answering machine basically telling me that the biopsy came back positive for cancer.
This is Amy Krasinski, mother, Penn State employee, and for the past several years, a breast cancer survivor.
At that point, I couldn't speak anymore. I had to write a note, and I took it out in front of my husband, and I held it up, and I just wrote, "Right breast cancer." And I held it up in front of him while he was mowing. He stopped the lawnmower long enough for me to hold the note up for him. And from that point on, it was just not being able to speak. Just being really emotionally upset with it. I kind of hid myself into my office, and I don't know if I did schoolwork or played on the internet. It was just I had to hide from everybody. I had to be alone, had to deal with it on my own.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the United States is diagnosed with breast cancer. In 2005, that came out to be over 250,000 women. Of those, 40,000 succumbed to the disease.
In the early 80s, late 70s, the incidence was 113. Today, we're looking at a lifetime incidence for any woman to be 1 in 8. And that is in the last 25 to 30 years that's occurred. So the incidence is definitely increasing. We know that in the United States in this year, there will be greater than 210,000 new cases of breast cancer. And with that figure comes the good news that the mortality from breast cancer has decreased substantially over the last 20 years.
Once breast cancer has been identified, it is then classified by stages. These stages can range from 0, where the cancer cells remain inside the breast duct without invasion into normal adjacent breast tissue, to stage 4, where the cancer has metastasized, spread to other parts of the body. Amy's cancer was a stage 1, which meant that the tumor was 2 centimeters or less and confined to the breast. But now she was faced with deciding what treatment regimen she was going to follow.
So we had 2 lumpectomies, and then we had 4 chemo treatments that were about a month apart. They were trying for 3 weeks, but it kind of ended up being 4 weeks apart each time. So I did the 2 lumpectomies, then I did the chemotherapy, and then I had 38 radiation treatments after that.
A stage 1 tumor generally implies that this is a size less than 2 centimeters. And that is a very early detected breast cancer. But with routine annual mammographic screening, we know that we can detect cancers well below 1 centimeter in size. And by doing that, certainly increase the prognosis for the patient with an even earlier detection. Sometimes getting that cancer when it's in situ or just present in the duct and not extending outside of the duct into the breast glandular tissue, which would be an invasive cancer.
Left with many stories to tell, Amy made it through her treatment, and she has been cancer-free for almost 5 years, with an obviously changed view on mammograms and who should get them.
Because of my age, I was only 38 at the time that I was diagnosed. I made it a point to let my friends know that you're never too young to get a mammogram. And my sisters, I have 2 sisters, and they are like 4 and 6 years older than I am, who both went, maybe we better check into getting mammograms. So I was really an advocate for getting a mammogram. Never being too young to get a mammogram.
I would suggest everyone know your history, know your family history, be aware of what your own medical history is. When you're in your 20s, start doing self-breast exam on a regular monthly basis. Get to know what's normal and what's not normal. By the time you are 40, start having annual screening mammography. It will save your life.
For In Motion, I'm Kurt Parker.